Okay children, class 6 subject science. Today's topic is lesson number 7, separation of substances. See children, separation of substances is very important for scientific activity children. It is very important for scientific activity. Apart from that, it is important in our daily life also. Okay. See children, combination of compounds forms a mixture. For example, I want to give an example. If suppose your mother is preparing veg pulao, what she will do? She will add all vegetables to make the pulao. Okay. So many compounds will be combined and form the mixture children. Okay. What mixture has been formed? The veg pulao has been ready. Okay. Suppose substance may be separated from a mixture. If suppose you don't like some vegetables in that veg pulao, if suppose beans are there, okay, peas are there, you don't like peas. So what you will do, just you will take out and you will keep it aside and you want to have other mixture, okay. So what is happening from that mixture, you are able to separate the components, okay. Whatever the separated substance you are separating from the components of forms the mixture, okay. See children, usually you all know, suppose we can separate things like, suppose if your mother is preparing tea, what your mother will do to separate the tea leaves? She uses a strainer and she removes the tea, she removes the liquid form of tea, and whatever the tea leaves are there, it will come and combine on the strainer. Okay children, in the not only this, there are many techniques. Like suppose if your milk is there, okay, the churning of milk can be obtained for getting butter. Okay, did you anytime thought why do we separate these substances children? For example, if you are separating stones from rice, okay, why do we separate? So that to separate two different but both using useful components, okay. Churning milk to obtain butter, okay. Why do we do this? For what purpose we are going to remove non-useful components, okay. Whatever the non-useful components are present in for churning for obtaining the butter, whatever non-useful components are there, for that purpose we will do this technique. And to separate tea leaves, to remove impurities or harmful components, whatever it is present. Okay, for these purposes we will separate the substances. But what do we do with the separated substances children? Now we have separated the substances, right? What can we do? Suppose we throw away the solid components. What form of solid components can be thrown away? Suppose if we are taking the tea and we are straining. In the strainer we are straining the tea leaves, okay. Whatever the tea leaves are there, that is a solid form and we are throwing it away, okay. We throw away the impurities. What type of impurities we can throw? Whatever we are separating the stones from the rice, we can throw it away, that stones, okay, and we can use the rice for cooking. And we use both components. Like what components we can use both children? For example, churning, okay, even milk also we can use, and even the butter also we can use. So we are using both components. Milk we are using to obtain the butter, okay. In this way we use the what we will do with separated substances. Now apart from that children, you all are having methods of separation, okay. In this chapter you all are going to learn about methods of separation also. What type of methods of separation? You all are going to learn hand picking, pressing, winnowing, sieving, sedimentation, decantation, filtration, crystallization, distillation, sublimation through camphor, chromatography. These all types of techniques you all are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, children. Now coming to, before going to methods of separation, I want to do your textbook exercise. Like table number 1 is there in your textbooks. All of you open that. Okay children, did you all do table number 1 in your textbooks, page number 64. In that you all are having item and substance. Item I have already been listed for you. The substance you all must need to know what type for making so and so particular item, what substance are being used. For example, tea. For making tea, what can be used? Milk, tea leaves and sugar. Laddu, Bengal gram, ghee or vegetable oil, cashew nuts, cardamom, sugar or jaggery. Lemon juice, obviously lemon, sugar and water. Concrete, cement, sand, small stones and water. See children, usually do you all know concrete is the combination of sand, stones and cement which is filled in iron frames. It is a combination of sand, stones and cement and it is filled in the iron frames. Next, coming to soil. If you all have remembered in your third class, I have explained how is soil formed and how it is forming. If you all have remembered about weathering of rocks, organic materials, humus, okay, obviously substances also, that only weathered rocks, organic materials like humus, water and air. Okay children, now coming to methods of separation, that is hand picking. Okay, see children, usually hand picking. Manually, what we will do children, we will separate stones, dust, husk. What is husk children? Husk is nothing but the skin of the grains. Okay, usually and it will be very light. Husk or chaff, we will say it as chaff or husk. Okay, chaff SHA-F. Okay, it is used. Hand picking is used to used for manually separating stones, dust, husk from rice, grains, pulses, etc. Okay children, now what are the advantages of hand picking? See children, usually it is used to remove bigger particles. Okay, it is used to remove bigger particles from the smaller grains. And the disadvantages of this is, whatever if suppose the dust particles are very tiny, we cannot remove it. And another disadvantage of hand picking is, it is time consuming process. Okay, it takes lots of time. It is a time consuming process. Now next point to thrashing. What is thrashing children? Usually stalks of dry grains are beaten up very hard children. Okay, see, usually farmers do this. They will take whole grains of stalk and they will beat that very hardly, so that whatever the grains are there in the stalk, it should come out. Okay, after coming out, they will collect it. That by what process they are doing this? That process is nothing but known as thrashing. Okay, that process is nothing but known as thrashing. Even bullocks and machines are used for doing thrashing. Machines, usually I want to say a name, that is combine. Combine is the name of a machine through which the thrashing process can be done. Okay, through which the thrashing process can be done. Now next coming to winnowing. See children, now coming to winnowing. Okay children, now coming next to winnowing. In winnowing process children, we separate heavier particles, heavier grains from the lighter particles. Okay children, by the action of wind. Okay, usually with this process is done by the wind, by the air. Okay children, whatever the heavier grains particles are there, it will be getting separated from the lighter particles. Okay, whatever heavier grains are there, it will separate from the lighter particles. And where do these lighter particles go? It will fly away. Okay, and whatever the heavier grains are there, it will fall on the ground and we can collect that. Okay, and see children, usually what is this lighter weight? As I said you before, the lighter particles are nothing but the chaff, that is the skin of those grains. Okay, the skin of those grains will be very light and it will fly away, it will move away, it will can get separated by doing this winnowing technique. Okay, now next coming to sieving. Sieving is the process where we can see where flour. Okay, usually wheat flour, when your mother wants to prepare rotis or chapatis, what she will do to remove the dust particles or worms from it, she will sieve. Okay, she will do the sieving process. Okay, with what? With the sieve. Sieve is nothing but it is a utensils which is having holes in it. Okay, through that whatever the dust particles and whatever it is, it will come on that sieve utensil, and whatever you need the component, it can be sieving. Okay, see children, fine flour particles are allowed to pass through this holes. Whatever from that utensil, whatever the sieve is there, if fine particles will be allowed to pass through these holes, and while the bigger impurities remain on the sieve. Okay, whatever the bigger impurities are there, they will remain on the sieve and you can discard that. Discard is nothing but you can throw it. Okay, that we can do it by the sieving. Okay, whatever fine particles, if suppose your mother is flooring the wheat flour for making rotis, whatever fine particles are there, it will settle down in one container, and whatever the bigger particles are there, it will be on the sieve only, and you, if it is not useful, whatever impurities that is, you can discard it. Okay, now next coming to sedimentation. See children, sedimentation is also a type of process. In this what you can do, you can take a beaker or you can take a glass. Okay, you can add this, you can add water and you can add some mud. What will happen children, whatever the sand you are adding into the glass, it will settle down at the bottom. Okay, you can see the layers, the water layer and the sand layer. The sand layer, it will get settled down. That process is known as sedimentation. Whatever the heavier impurities are there, they get settled down at the bottom of the water. Okay, children. Now, for doing decantation, what we did for sedimentation, whatever the whatever the water is present, whatever the heavier particle got settle at the bottom, and whatever the lighter particle is separated, okay, the water got separated from the sand, and water gets separated. Sand will settle at the bottom, no children. Whatever the water will get, we must take that water into the another beaker. Okay, after taking it into the another beaker, that process is known as decantation. We are taking the water into another beaker, that is nothing but known as decantation. Now suppose if some sand particles, some small fine sand particles can also come through this process. So we should filter it by the process of filtration. For doing this, you must need to take a beaker, and you must need to take a funnel. In a funnel, you must need to place the filter paper. Okay, filter paper acts as a sieving over there. As I said, for sieve, how it will be there, fine holes on the filter paper. Also same way, fine holes will be present, and that will filter the water, whatever you are pouring from the decantation technique. Okay, it will filter it. Now it will filter it. That process is known as filtration. Now, okay children, now next coming to crystallization technique. By this technique, how can you do this technique, children? You must need to take a water in a beaker, and you take the beaker and place it on the Bunsen flame, children. Okay, you must need to heat the water. Okay, you must need to take salt water in beaker, keep it on the Bunsen flame, heat the water till the water gets evaporated. If once water has evaporated, what do you find, children? You will find the salt crystals, and powder in the dish, children. Henceforth, the third crystallization process has been completed. Now coming next to distillation. What is distillation, children? Distillation is nothing but it is a technique which in this technique the water impurities, the water gets impurities free, children. Okay, impurities of water get free. Okay, water from impurities is get this. What in this technique, water is known as distilled water, children. Okay, how can you prepare this distilled water? Distillation is nothing but whatever the impurities are present in the water, it will be freed up from the impurities. How can it get free up, children? For that, we must need to prepare distilled water. How can you prepare distilled water? There is an activity in your textbook, activity 5. You can prepare your own distilled water. What you must need to do is, you must need to take 2 conical flasks. Okay, close with after taking 2 conical flasks, you must need to close the conical flask with the cork. Okay, having holes. The cork should have holes. Insert a glass tube through the into the conical flask. From one conical flask to other conical flask, you must need to insert the glass tube. Okay, and you must need to add the water in it. You must need to place the cork with the cork should be having holes in it, and from that you must need to paste glass tube into the another conical flask. You must need to keep it on the Bunsen flame. After keeping on the Bunsen flame, whatever the water gets heated up, it will get converted into water vapor. The water converting into water vapor is known as what? Evaporation. I hope you all have remembered in lower classes I have taught about evaporation and condensation processes. Okay. Water converts into water vapor is known as evaporation. On heating it is getting converted, no children? So it is known as evaporation. If on cooling the water vapor converts into water, that is known as condensation. Okay, but in this process what is happening, the evaporation technique has been used. We are keeping the conical flask on the Bunsen flame, and the water is getting heated up, and the water vapor is forming into the another conical flask. We must need to keep the conical flask like that only. After cooling, after some time when the water vapor cools down, again it's become into water, and that water henceforth is known as distilled water. This is the process of this is nothing but the process of distillation. Okay, this what we have did, whatever the impurities are present in the water, it is free up. Okay, it is not there, impurities are free up. Next, coming to sublimation. Okay, see children, now in sublimation, okay children, sublimation is nothing but the purification process. Okay, we can do sublimation by using camphor. How, what we must need to do is, we must need to take a china dish. In the china dish, we must need to place some camphor and powdered salt or powdered salt. You must need to keep the dish on the Bunsen plate, and you must need to cover the dish with the funnel. Okay, and you can place the cotton over the funnel. Okay, from the up part you can see the funnel should be arrayed towards the dish tray. After that, what you can observe, what can you observe with the camphor from solid form, it will go to directly goes to gaseous state. When we are offing it and it is getting cooled down, what will happen? The gaseous state will turn into the solid form. It never goes to liquid form. It is directly turning into the solid form. Hence, what that process is nothing but known as sublimation process. But in evaporation technique, as I said before, for distillation process, what is happening? Water changing into water vapor, again water vapor changing into water, liquid to gaseous state, gaseous to liquid state. But in the sublimation process, solid to gaseous state, gaseous to solid state. Henceforth, that is nothing but known as sublimation process. Okay, next coming to chromatography. See children, chromatography can be done with by doing with an experiment. Okay, you can do this on your own also. If you must need to take a chalk, okay, and with any ink color you can mark it on the chalk. Okay, after marking, take a dish. In the dish you must need to pour water, and you must need to place the chalk in the dish. You must be careful while you are placing the chalk. The water should not touch the level of the ink. After some time, what will you observe? Whatever the ink is there on the chalk, whatever the ink is producing on the chalk. See children, for chromatography, as I said, we are taking a chalk. You must need to mark with an ink. From bottom you can mark an ink. Okay, with the help of ink, you will just mark a line on the chalk. After marking that, you must need to place it on a plate. In plate, you add some water. Don't add too much water. You must make sure that the water must not touch the mark area, or whatever you have marked with ink, it should not touch. After some time, remove the chalk so that it should not touch the water must not touch that ink area. What you will observe? You will observe some colors. Okay, from where this color is as usual for ink. Suppose you are keeping black ink. The black ink is only a single substance. Okay, the ink is made up of only single color, but actually it is a mixture of colors. Okay children, the ink is made up of a single color, but there are mixture of colors, and for that process is nothing but known as chromatography. Okay, you can try this at your home also. You take a chalk, in a plate you add some water, and you can take any ink, and you can observe what colors have you been what colors have been came on the chalk. Okay children, now next go into separation using more than one method. Before going to that, I want to say, do you all know children, Chilka Lake? Okay, Chilka is nothing but the name of the lake. It is the India's largest salt lake children. Okay, it is the India's largest salt water lake. And children, in the Middle Ages, do you know, salt was very expensive, and henceforth it was also known as white gold. It was called as white gold in Middle Ages. Okay children. Now next coming to separation using more than one method. See children, now you all have studied about so many things. Okay, by more than one method you all have seen. Okay, by hand picking, crushing, sedimentation, filtration. Okay children. Now see, separation of substances is very important. As I said you, it is a scientific activity, and it is also important in our daily life. Okay, if you all have any doubts, you all can contact me. With this, we have